Well, I kind of do, because, I mean, you know, we're a word-of-mouth agency, and there's a big reason we don't call ourselves a social media agency, because it's kind of like having a fax machine agency or a pen and paper agency. You know, it is a tool. And so I would much rather us be judging and rewarding strategies that are social, that are inherently conversational, that are about relationships, that are about encouraging deep emotion and deep behaviours. But then, of course, the definition of social strategy is as much up to each person as anything. You know, it's a really tricky thing.
You know, I'd say sort of 10 years, not even 6 years ago, people saw search, brands saw search as something that needed its own strategy, you know, its own team that would think about it, you know, a sort of task force to deliver, you know, to win in search around the world. And now search is a hygiene element in what we do. You know, if we're not doing it right, you know, there's a problem. And so what's brilliant about the moment that we're in is I think clients and agencies alike are embracing this changing tide in media. And I mean, if you look back 50 years, it's exactly the same, you know, when the TV came and the radio went and things like that. So it's just becoming much more part of our vernacular and planning process than it was, I would say, a few years ago. And the work that we do on Smirnoff is inextricably rooted in social, because our brand is a social brand. And, you know, whatever we do in the real world socially, we like to replicate and add value in the digital world, in the you know, the virtual world socially. So it's a really important part of our planning process and how we bring our ideas to our consumers.
To me, strategy implies something that goes beyond a campaign, implies something that is bedded deep within the company and is kind of part of their approach of how they see themselves and how they approach their consumers and their suppliers and their partners and whoever else it might be. So, you know, it's very tricky because you can interpret it however you want, really. But I kind of do like the move away from just looking at platforms and looking instead at, so, you know, how is this strategy encouraging your consumers and internally your company to be social, wherever that might be, on a billboard, in a TV ad, on a Twitter feed.